Am I sharing the right screen? That's a good question. You seeing my charts, guys? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Righto. So pound US dollar is where we're going to start. The reason we're starting on pound US dollar, of course, is we're now out of the trade that we entered. Whenever we entered last Thursday, I think, was the general consensus as to when we entered that. So look, I'm pretty okay. I'm not the least bit concerned. We trailed our stops pretty tight. I think they were down here from memory, and we missed out on only a small amount on pound US dollar at this stage anyway. Anything could happen from here, but it does look as though we have somewhat of a reversal underway on pound US dollar. And as I said yesterday, I thought the dollar index was showing that to be at a resistance level, and it turns out that may well be the case. How far that goes, of course, is anybody's guess, but for now, I'm happy to be out of pound US dollar. Can we trade breakout today is the next question that we have. Well, I've got to say that 170 pips, we've got to get through the weekly pivot. Don't like that prospect. We've got to get through the lows here to even get anywhere near. That won't, no, that's not going to work for me. So we'll leave it for now and come back on Monday and have a look and see if this is tradable. I actually like the look of this. This looks as though it wants to go back in the direction. Of course, it's got to get through this level. It's got to get through there before I start to think that we're reversing. At the moment, it's a retracement, pretty strong one, but until that gets through at least the weekly pivot and probably that trend line up here. So we're talking, I don't know, next Wednesday or something like that, maybe, before all of that happens. I would imagine, of course, anything can happen at any time. But for now, I don't think it's a tradable commodity, and the potential for this just to bounce off this breakout level is there, no question. Untested daily pivot below, that may well be a focus, but I'm not sure. It does look a bit bullish, I've got to say. I haven't had a look at the dollar index today, so we'll catch up with that a little bit later, hopefully, as well. So no trade for the pound. We are out of that now, and as I said, not disturbed by that in one iota, because I think we've done exactly the right thing. We've trailed it pretty tight. We also were taken out of euro yen. Same applies here. I'm okay with that. We trailed our stops down to just about here somewhere. Again, I think in that vicinity. And the weekly pivot was always going to be a bit of a target if the bulls did get into the fray. And look, this does look a bit bullish as well. Big bullish engulfing bar, higher low, higher low, test off the daily pivot. Only issue with that, I suppose, well, it's not really an issue if you choose to trade reversal bars off daily pivots, and who doesn't? I don't like what are they called? Green bars. That's my issue with trading that. But totally it's there, totally there. Double bottom, bullish engulfing bar, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Why wouldn't you want to trade that up to the weekly pivot? I would like to find a better way to do that on the smaller time frames, but it's definitely in my sights. Let me just go a little bit wider on that. How do we do this, guys? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Well, I should never say that. It's pretty obvious what I need to see. That's far better. And what I need to see is price to break through here, have another crack at the daily pivot, fail for a second time, and then get above it, retest it. Then I can find an entry long. What that actually does for me, it indicates to me that two things, really. One, the support level of trade line and daily pivot is valid, and the other is they don't want to go below that level. So if they don't want to go below that level, what do we think happens next? The reverse. Yeah. So that's what I need to see. I'm thinking that we may even spend a bit of time in here. Who's to know? But anyway, that's what I need to see on euro yen. And again, you know, I'm not disappointed to be out of this because I think we've done precisely the right thing and trailed it. We trailed it as tight as we needed to be, in my humble. Aussie dollar, same applies really. We trailed that pretty tight as well. We got a good chunk of cash out of Aussie dollar, I'm pleased to say. Don't really see a reversal here at the moment in terms of chart patterns or candle patterns, but a higher low once again is in place, as is a higher high. Subtle, but it's there. The thing that does and doesn't concern me, but the thing that I notice is that if that's a double bottom, it's a little bit offset, and I don't have a problem with that. But I don't really see a reversal pattern apart from that. You could, yeah, I suppose you can call that a bullish engulfing bar. You're thinking weekly pivot higher low, aren't you? I am. I don't know if that's tradable either. And again, the only way that would be tradable for me is as a false break of support, which doesn't look too dusty either. You know, down here, hit the daily pivot again, back above it, retest it, away you go. So that's pretty obvious as well. We are still in. A couple remaining. Euro Swissy, which really indicates to me how strong the Swissy must be at the moment. Certainly, if you compare Euro Swissy to Euro Yen, for instance, big rally yesterday on Euro Yen. Euro Swissy, not so much. In fact, it continued to tank. And then you have a look at something like, well, Swissy Yen. Wow. Another fish that got away. Gee whiz, you got to be trading at the right time, haven't you? Another beautiful example of range, really. You know, the bottom of this range was very, very clear. And all we needed to see was a higher low. Did it come for me? No, not in timely fashion, that's for sure. Got a dominant break of the trade line, I suppose, is the key to that one. That's the 4-hour chart.
Sorry to cut you off, mate. There is a trade if we want it.
Don't be sorry to cut me off, mate.
Okay.
Better people than you have done it, mate, and survive.
Let me just turn you up. Okay, short on the FTSE. Hopefully you guys can get into this. Let me just share my screen if I can. So I'm in a slightly different room today, so it's
sounds a bit different.
Yeah, it's been tricky kind of getting on. Now I am already in on this FTSE trade. Why is that not linking? There it is. I am already in, but it might just come back, and there looks like there's some room down here as well. So looking for around about 30 pips, and I'll stay in this. Actually, this looks like it might come back. So anybody that wants to get in, it looks like you might get the opportunity here to get near the same kind of level in price that I got. So the price on your charts will probably be, looks like around about a 40-point difference. So you're looking at the 7,000 level, I think. Everybody be looking around about the 7,000 level. So it'd be short on the FTSE at 7,000. Looks like you can aim. Might have been able to take first profit already, but I think there's a bit of room here to find maybe some first at the daily pivot. That's what I'm aiming for. Stops at the weekly pivot, if that's what everybody's doing. If you're using leverage, you might want to put the stops up above the weekly pivot. Looks like you've got a little bit of room to the downside. Not only am I in a different room, but I've also not got a mouse, so this is slightly harder to control. We got 30 down. Looks like around about a 1-to-1 actually from the 2 points. So yeah, trade is short on the FTSE around about the 7,000 mark. I'll bring it up on this chart so you guys can see it. Yeah, it looks like around about the 7,000 mark for you. And
hey, Lewis. Hey, John.
Hi, guys. You're aiming for your weekly pivot. So yeah, anywhere around here looks pretty good. and you're looking for around about a 30 pip stop loss, maybe with a 35 point profit, something like that. But take your 10. You know, usually my first contact is kind of a 10 pip gain. So it might be that we're looking for 10. But when I opened up the charts this morning, in fact, I won't discuss this now, mate. You finish your piece, and then we'll come back to the charts, because the FTSE just kind of, it adds to the picture. You know, it's sort of like, it suggests that we should be taking this short, because there's quite a lot really going on right now, which would suggest that these markets probably will come down a little bit, and it might even be, you know, we look like we might even be in something a bit longer term here. So it's possible that people might want to stay in. I mean, you know, we know that's not my current strategy, but look at that. Looks like a pretty good retest of a level. So you might want to stay in and see if you can get on a longer term trend here, maybe taking a little bit off the table, and then sticking with it and see if you can pick up something more significant than just a shorter term trend here. But looks pretty good, mate, anyway, for the FTSE short.
Okay, bud. You might want to mark that one too, Angel. There might be a part 2 to that, I would think, perhaps a little bit later on.
Yeah.
I have started with Swissy yen, haven't I? I think I was talking about Swissy yen at the time, and what I was discussing was the wonderful range that was, you know, particularly evident, and we got a clear false break of that range. The problem is, of course, if you're trading that on the daily chart, you would have had to have traded that bar there to get in. That's not for me, and I'm looking for a potential entry for you guys had you been in front of the charts. And I guess there it is on the 4-hour chart. You would have had to trade that bar. That's okay. It's got a red body, and it is a retest of the broken trade line. So there was an entry there for you if you were up to it, and there's probably a second entry there for you if you're up to that as well. That's not a tradable candle for me, but I can see why you would want to trade it. The only issue with that, if you do like trading green bodied bars long, is the untested daily pivot below you. So you may find that that's got a little bit of work to do. There is a trade line sitting through there as well. So I'd be actually willing to play this as a short, but I'd need to see this happen. I'd need to see the break, consolidate, back underneath, retest, and go short. But I'd need to find a very tight entry to give me enough reward to take profit at the daily pivot. So I'm not really enamored by that, but I can totally see that it's there. And if it did come down to there, you'd have something that looked like that, which would indicate there's potential there for an inverted head and shoulders, which may actually turn this around. But then you've only got room to the monthly pivot, which is the top of the range. So yeah, it's probably a no-go zone, but I can see the structures working out there. And then I go back to this chart, and this chart's telling me that we are eventually going short after we get out of this consolidation. Big bearish engulfing bar, a lot of energy being stored up inside here. And when they do make a decision and actually break out of here, I think it's going to be pretty strong. Best way to trade it is as a false break of resistance for me. So that's Swissy yen. I'm really only repeating what we said the other day. The two trades that we're still in, Euro Swissy, I didn't really speak too much about that. Again, classic range, and we're very, very near to the bottom of that. I'm hopeful this time that we can actually crack that and get out of here. But the chart's telling me otherwise, because reject. We'll see, of course. If we get down to here, I'll be certainly looking for a higher low to trade it back to the top of the range. But there may even be a trade today back to the daily pivot on the smaller timeframes. Don't see it for now, but if you take what I've just said on the other pairs into consideration, the best way to go long here is off a false break of support. That may well set up. And I do like the fact that we've taken out these lows with a rejection bar. Kind of indicates to me that there's been a bit of liquidity grab down here. And we've got an untested daily pivot above us. It's almost a setup out of it as a breakout of that consolidation as well. What am I on? Hourly, 30-minute might look pretty cool. High of the day is there. Let me see. I don't think I've got enough room. No, I don't. Well, if you've got big kahunas and you really must trade, there's an entry above that bar there. Where you put your stops is a bit of an issue because of this bar here. But underneath these lows, I think would be okay. That looks like a 6 pip risk. The reward's 1-to-1, which is cool, but you've got to take that high of the day into the equation, and I just won't do that. So what do I need to see to trade that? Nothing really. I've got to wait. I've got to wait till we hit the bottom of that range because we're not there yet. Daily pivot test looks great, but it's got to be as a false break of support, and that's just not there. So we're still in that trade. Hopefully we can smash through here and just keep going along, low, sorry. And the other one is pound Kiwi. Now I'm still keen on this. We've been in this for quite some time, which means it's starting to put a strain on the swap area. But we are fighting back here today after a bad day on Monday. And we're trying to get back through that entry. And once we do, if we can kick clear of this level, gee, I reckon we're on our way. I really do reckon we're on our way. But it's taking its time. There's no question about that. I'll continue to stay in it, of course, until such times as we maybe get a big break to the downside and then a lower high. Then I might reconsider. But at this point in time, Euro Swissy and pound Kiwi are the two that we're still in. As far as today is concerned, look, there was absolutely nothing on the radar this morning as far as reversal bars are concerned. And that's kind of where I start my day at end of day trading. I did notice a couple of things, but they're really not compelling at this point. I thought euro dollar was at a nice, interesting level. There's a nice little tweezer bottom sitting there as well on the daily chart as a result of yesterday's rally. We've got an untested daily pivot below us. I'd really like to see a higher low put in there. And maybe we can trade it back to there if we really get lucky as far as the setup's concerned. And it's almost there if we get through this level here, the trade line, take on the high, eventually get back underneath it and retest it. Then we've got a clear run to the daily pivot as long as we've got profit before the low of the day, which we should have. So I think that's a definite trading opportunity if that were to give us what we're looking for, and that is that false break. So it's all about false breaks, normally is for me, and I'll be looking to trade that to the daily pivot. As far as anything else is concerned, mate, I don't think I was that fussed. I didn't note anything down other than what we had already through the week. We can go through those if you want. If you've got nothing else, we might update your FTSE trade first, and then we can go through, if you like, the weeklies and how they've actually panned out. They've actually panned out fairly well. Most of them have converted and are on their way, if not triggered. So the weeklies are doing their job at the moment.
Yeah, let's have a look at this trade, mate, because this has got this has got reasons, I think, for me going with this one. I have to say I'm having a problem here because I've changed the way I'm doing it. I can't actually close this trade down anymore, which is annoying, but it's not a problem. I will manage it as I go. But my idea, usually, I think if you can get 10 pips out of it, then it's pretty good. So what I'll probably try and do with this one is just move my stop to 10 pips. I've got friends visiting at the minute, so I'll just leave it run. And if I make the 10 pips and it comes back, perfect. If it tanks and I'm in by the end of the day, then I'll come back to a pretty nice surprise. So my idea is just to kind of move my stops and then effectively leave it, because there might be something more significant here. It might not happen straight away, but there might be something more significant here, which is kind of cool. This is the information that I'm kind of going on. Obviously, the FTSE 100. Now, I'm starting off with a daily. Starting off with my daily, and the daily is suggesting that we are at a potential retracement area. So that's the first thing, and we've really kind of heard a lot of confidence kind of coming in over the last few days. It's just a minor correction, but this bounce back is providing a selling opportunity, and it's the first one. So the question that everybody needs to ask is, was the move to the downside that we saw on Monday a false move? Was it a panic, or is this something kind of like a bit wider going on? Now, it's impossible to answer that in many respects. But again, this is where sort of like not playing with leverage can really kind of help with this kind of decision making. But we are at a particular level where this market might turn around and give us a reversal buy here, and it might be a bit early. The entry might be a bit early, might come up a little bit, then come down, and people might be entering tomorrow, maybe under the low of this bar, under the low of the range of this bar. It might not be today. But the other charts that link me to the FTSE, oil, same kind of looking chart. We got this morning star pattern here, red bar down, little hold, and then a green bar up is a morning star. But again, fairly close to, not probably on it, not nice and tightly on it, but fairly close to a possible area for reversal. Got a little way to go, you can see. It looks like the horizontal level. It may be here. That might be the horizontal level that is being watched. It looks pretty good. Got some moves down there. So we got oil and the FTSE almost in confluence when it comes down to the way the charts look. Then I opened up the VIX, and when I kind of like when I started to look at the VIX, I've almost got the reverse chart where on the dailies it starts to pump to the upside. It comes back, and again comes back into an area of potential support here. So the VIX, this is the way that I'd want the VIX to look. If I was looking for a short in equities, I'd want the VIX to look like this. And again, it could come back a little bit further. So the entry on the FTSE could be a shade early, but might be on top of it. It looks pretty good. So there's a couple of other charts which suggest that we may well be seeing some weakness in the FTSE. And then if we look at a possible reason for just a bit of nervousness coming into the market today, then let's see if I can get this working on this screen. Make sure we got all these currencies.
3-year countdown to lift interest rates. Well,
I beg your pardon, mate?
I was just looking at that headline there.
Oh yeah. The RBA, that was a few days ago. I was just doing some analysis on the Aussie. But this is the big one, monetary policy statement from the EU. So yep. That might be enough to make the market nervous, and it's that kind of thing which tends to drive prices lower if they've been higher, and higher if they've been lower. So we're sort of in that rate. We've kind of got an area that's interesting to trade from, an area that's it's a sell zone. So an interesting area to trade from. We got a few signals on the charts as well, which would suggest that on the shorter term timeframes we do have lower highs and going on. Let me bring up a short term time frame here on the FTSE. Bring up the hourly. In actual fact, it was the 15 that got me interested. Little trend line on the 15 that looks like it was broken. Not the best pattern, but you can see that the pattern has started to break down. So shorter term timeframes look like they've given us a little signal and a green light to go. And we were in a downtrend, as I say, on Monday. So there's enough evidence there to suggest that this is worth taking on. And there's enough evidence to suggest that it actually could be more sinister than just a small move to the downside and then pop back up again. It could actually be quite significant. The last one that I forgot to mention as well was Bitcoin. Actually looks like it's popped again on Bitcoin, but I heard a lot of people getting quite excited about the bounce on Bitcoin, but I would counsel some reality, if you like. Have a bit of a reality check, because Bitcoin is also in a sell zone. So could be a bit of risk on today, risk off today. If it's not today, looks like it may well be this morning. So so that's the evidence, mate. That's why the FTSE trade was taken, or at least some of the reasons that the FTSE trade was taken, and I quite like it. So, you know, from here on in, I pass it to you guys to manage it in the way you want. Really, what I'm trying to do is give you an opportunity to get some nice entries into the market, and hopefully that's been provided. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere just yet, but we'll see if that turns out to be something decent or not.
Cool. What did you get out of the gold conversation with Ainsley yesterday? But I thought she was a little bit, I don't know, off.
Flat.
In term, sorry?
Flat.
Flat, that's the word. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was. I think she's feeling. I mean, what I got from it is she seems to be, you know, like that the price action on gold is just too confounding. It's just confusing. It's frustrating. It sounded to me like it's quite frustrating, not getting any movement. And this does happen when we get caught in these ranges, doesn't it? You know, to trend traders. Difficult. You sort of, you know, you start to build up your reasons for something moving. And this is why you can't ever say this is why this is going to move. You can say why it's moved. You could have a speculation on that, but you just don't know what's going to cause something to really move. So I think it sounded to me like that Ainsley was getting a little bit frustrated with the price action with gold. And I had another look today, and it's you know, it's back down again. It's just silver's looking negative. Gold, where's my gold futures here? Down here. Where's the gold futures down here? Back down to 18, right down to the $1,800 mark. This is the area that we were talking about yesterday as the buy zone, and regardless of whether we get frustrated or not, this is the area to buy gold if you're interested. If you don't like the overall view, then you're waiting for it to break and then sell it. But this is the area to buy it, really, because it's held here enough times to suggest that if there is a break, you're probably wrong, which means that, you know.
Yeah, it looks really interesting. Look, I've got nothing but admiration for Ainsley and the way that she approaches trading, which is completely different the way I approach my trading and you and everybody else, you know. But in the patience of Job, I thought I was a patient person, but, you know, she'll wait for months and months and months just to get the right entry. And it may take 2 or 3 goes, but she'll get there.
Yeah, she will. Do you know what? On that, mate, I think the reason that she's like that is that she's had positive confirmation, because she's had some amazing trade. When she's done that, it's just exploded, and
yeah, totally.
and just compounded her account. So and that helps, doesn't it? When you sort of like get into a trading methodology, when you get positive confirmation because what you're doing is right, you tend to not or less and less go back to those bad habits that you used to have. You tend to go, no, this is working. You know, this is working.
Well, I hope so.
I mean,
that's how it works. That's how you get to make money long term.
It is, mate. Do you know what? It's funny though, because every now and again I still drop my guard. Every now and again I sort of like I get into a point and I might not even realize that I'm doing it at the time, but I don't know. It could be just down to the fact that I haven't sat in front of the charts 5 minutes early enough, and I've got, okay, everything's in place, and I've forgotten one thing, and it's kind of like, you know, but that's almost one huge aspect, making sure that you've got the right amount of time to analyze your day to know exactly which way you're going with it. So
what you're going to do. Yep.
Yeah, so there's times where you know, still now, you know, it's rare to be fair, you know, it doesn't happen often anymore, but every now and again I still will find me saying to myself, now I've got some digging to do here, you know, I've got to now sort of like move back to making sure that we get flat again, which fortunately it doesn't trouble me, because, you know, I know how to kind of sail through those types of waters, but yeah, I think that the whole thing is that you're trying to get to the point where you don't have those moments anymore. But I suppose, you know, the reason I want to say that I still do every now and again is that I want everybody to know out there that it's not something that that comes overnight. It still takes a long time, and it's okay for it to happen. But don't feel like you can't eventually get there, because you will. You chip away, you chip away, and chip away, and eventually you just know the process inside and out. And I guess that's what Ainsley's having, is, you know, her positive confirmation that probably keeps her on the straight and narrow, and probably enables her to be patient.
Yes, and like a lot of people around the world at the moment, she's locked down and not probably having a wonderful time of it. I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I'll give her a call later and share a red wine with her or something, and we'll have a little chat.
Good idea.
Actually, one I should have asked her yesterday, and the one thing that I didn't ask her was, does she ever trade the downside of gold? I don't think she does.
No, I don't think she does either. I mean, I don't know whether she would ever hedge. I think that would be quite an interesting thing to ask, if there is a way that you can hedge something like that. No, but I think you're right, mate. I don't think she does, but that's okay. You know, I mean, you know, when it comes down to the FTSE, I'd much prefer to be on the long side. You know, there's enough evidence to suggest that we can trade it short, but I tend to prefer to be on the long side if I can, because that's the you know, the general, and I suppose the same with gold. It is a you know, something which does get affected by inflation. Inflation's always there, so it will probably tend to get dragged to the upside.
Yep. Lewis, what are you seeing, mate? I'm only seeing one thing with Kiwi CAD that even remotely interests me to go long at the moment. I need to know what you're seeing. Come on, Mike, if you want to, by all means. But I can't see on the daily chart how I'd want to trade Kiwi CAD long. Just can't. But hey, I'm willing to trade anything you throw at me at the moment, because you're on fire. So please do. Please let me know what you're seeing. The daily chart is not giving me a buy at the moment, I've got to say, though.
Yeah, come on, Mike. That'd be great. We got the quiz today, right?
We do.
We do. Amazing. Okay. Yeah, come on, Mike Lewis. Come on, Mike, and let's talk through some charts. That'd be quite a nice thing to do. I mean, I'd love to have that as an addition every week. That somebody came on Mike and talked through some charts and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally.
Now I'm getting close to be able to move this stop loss into my profit here, guys. So, you know, you guys do what you will with it. But if it breaks this low here, drags itself down here, then I'm probably going to get that stop loss down there and then just ignore it. So we will have a winner regardless.
Hello.
Lewis, how you doing?
Buddy.
I think you get feedback.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, but I can also hear a drum beat.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah.
That's better.
Great, wonderful. All right. The Kiwi CAD. I'm actually seeing it as a form of short-term trade, or a bounce on a daily chart, whereby it kind of giving me a higher low with that bounce over the 50 EMA. But of course, I am waiting for it for today's bars to go above a little bit higher, so that I can probably take a trade tomorrow.
Sorry, I suppose we should share a chart so other people can see this.
Okay.
Do you mind taking it, mate? Only because, or Lewis take it, only because I need to manage this trade here.
Right. I can't share the chart because I'm on the move.
I can put my chart up. That's no problem.
Sure,
Okay,
great.
you do that.
You put on a daily chart with a 50 EMA on.
No, my charts wouldn't even remotely recognize an EMA. Yeah, hang on, I'll put one on there.
I will just walk you guys through. You put up the chart, and then all right, there's a 50 EMA just running right between the last red bar and the green bar.
I'll make it yellow.
Yeah, right, great.
Yep, we see that.
Right, so it's just right. It closed just right above the EMA. And I from all the learning that I have, it's looks good to be a long. And today it basically showed me a green candle. All right, and once this is confirmed, I will probably look at it tomorrow on a daily trade. But I am
Okay.
in fact, I'm actually looking at it on a H4, which bounced on a 200 EMA.
Good God, you want me to pollute my chart again?
I'm sorry. But on the H4, it's giving me a very nice higher low to go on the long.
Yep. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yep. You got it? Yep. So only problem that I face with it is the money pivot. That is not too far away, but I think that is good enough for 1-to-1.
Let me have a look at this. Okay. Can I get rid of all this garbage now?
No problem.
So I see what you're saying now. Yep, totally get it. I can also see on the daily chart something that would interest me to the downside with a bull bar here.
Right.
False break, yeah, completely.
Right. That's why on a daily basis, I find that today's candle is important. So depend on where it closed.
Okay. Now, what if? And there's kind of a cup in the handle sitting there as well, I suppose, for your bulls.
Yeah.
What if this closes just under the weekly pivot, today's bar? Would you still trade it?
Well, I am actually, instead of the daily chart, I'm actually more interested in the 4-hourly chart, which
gives you more space.
already given me a opportunity to long it, and there's enough space to take a profit at the monthly pivot.
The weekly pivot, monthly pivot.
The weekly pivot. Sorry, the weekly pivot.
Okay, so you're in already?
I'm not in because I'm on the move. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and put in the trade.
Okay, well, it's bang on the close of that 4-hour bar.
Yeah, that's right. And I think I can take maybe I still have a little bit of time to another few more pips away. So probably I can find a time to put in the trade now.
All right, mate. Love it. Thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate that.
That's a Kiwi CAD long, right?
Kiwi CAD long, that's right.
Long, yes.
Okay.
On the 4-hour.
On the 4-hour.
On the 4-hour, yes.
Yep.
Okay. So
above the previous 4-hour bar, right?
Yes, correct. Yep. Correct. And thanks, Ash. You have a very nice FTSE short trade.
Yeah, it's going well, mate. Yeah, you in there?
Yes, going well. I'm in there. Yes, I'm in there. I just put in the market. When I hear your trade, I just put in the market.
There you go.
I didn't put a short limit or whatever. I just put the market entry.
Brilliant stuff, mate. Let's mark that as well, Angel. That might be quite good to do.
So we've got Lewis on the run making money. Isn't that good?
Oh, no, I just came up from a clinic.
That's really
just came off what?
I just came up from a clinic.
Oh, okay, cool.
I gotta pay some money to the doctor.
Yeah, I had to too.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not sick. I just went for my medical examination.
Same, mate. Once you get to 69,000 years old like me, you just got to keep going there. It's that simple.
Yeah, just need to make sure that the heart can take the market's movement.
Yeah. Well, the FTSE trade, everybody now must either be moving stops into profit. If you're going to go for first contact, you should be definitely putting your stops at break even if you want to go for that longer term move. So
just want to do that over the. You want to do that over the charts, mate, Frank?
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay, so let me do
actually,
that.
As I looking at it, I feel that there's quite a longer, bigger potential for the drop.
I do too, mate. You know what? And I'm trading this in a couple of different ways. So I'm because I'm over 3 different accounts. I've decided
Oh,
to trade it differently on each account. So I'm gonna show
right,
you what I've got.
right,
Um,
right.
so let me show you
Because
the different ways that I've gone for. So firstly just just take some money off the table, which is the actual strategy. To be fair, so take some money off the table. So what I've done is I've just moved my stop to here. So if it comes down to here, because that really is first contact. If you enter up here, your first contact should be down there because that's support. Now it's gone through there, which is great. Because what that now means is that this may well run, and it may well run really, really well. So if it does, then I will just leave it. If it comes back and takes me out, I've got what I should get, no problem at all.
yeah.
Now the second way that I've decided to do it is on this one, where I am trading the on this account here. I've just decided to put stops at break even. Let me see if I can get this chart up properly. This will need to be edited, no doubt. Yeah, so I've just put stop. So the entry up here, I've just put stops at break even. Now this one's more likely to work out in many respects because it's when we look at this on the 15, this area here, which kind of is that kind of first contact zone, hopefully will get rejected.
Pardon me, Ash.
Yeah.
You're now looking at UK 100 charts, right? Where is the pivot, daily pivot? Is it 69 something?
The daily pivot on this one is at 69.45.
69.45. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at around that level for the for the near target.
Yeah, I think that's fair, mate. I think that's fair, and that's a place that you either start kind of putting, taking something off the table, and letting the rest run, or starting to manage those stops, depending on which way you want to do it. But the thing with this is that we've got a chance, as you said quite rightly, to catch a really good one here. If this does move, if this does decide to get moving and get motoring, then there's a lot of room here to the downside because of where we've come. We've come a nice bounce up. We may well come all the way back down again and possibly even go through that area. And we might well have the top of the market, so the top of the retracement. So
Right.
I'm quite keen to let at least one of my accounts attempt to grab a bigger move. So yeah, at the daily pivot, that's the time to you either start kind of, as I say, that's the management point. Take something off the table. I probably won't even take half. I think just a little bit, just to kind of get some money in the bank, and just seeing if there is a bigger move. It appears that the Christine Lagarde announcement will be the driver. So I suspect by 1:30, if we have a look at what's going on today, we've got 12:45 UK time. We've got the monetary policy announcement, and then at 1:30 we've got the press conference. So that looks to be the significant time that we've got today. By 1:30, we should know whether we're going to get something going or not, which is why I'd like to say quite loose until 1:30. Now, if at 1:30 it looks like we're starting to bottom out, then I'll start to move my stops tighter. Or maybe even take some more off the table, possibly even close the trade. I don't know. But what I'm now going to look for is, rather than price points, I'm going to look for time points.
Right. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah. But that means we have a busy evening tonight. Singapore time.
Possibly. I mean, it was interesting, wasn't it? Yesterday, I spoke about oil maybe moving after the inventories. And if you look at, I'm not even sure whether I can go back to the inventories yesterday, but look what happened. I think I can actually. Look what happened to the inventories yesterday. We know what happened with oil because we looked.
It went up.
Inventories actually built. Now the inventories building should be negative for oil, but that wasn't the case. That actually sort of like that the oil market continued to rally off the back of that.
As I observe something. Every time the inventory, whether it's positive or negative, oil price usually rally. But of course, sometime after the rally, it came back. It come back.
Yeah, absolutely right, mate.
But
Absolutely right.
I would think if I'm not wrong, 8 out of 10 times, whenever the price, whenever the inventory reports comes out, the price rally.
Yeah. Now, the reason I think this is the case, and I can't say with any certainty, but the reason I think this is the case is that if there's something else on the horizon, it won't yet manifest. Now we know what else is on the horizon, which is that ECB press conference. That's the possible reason that oil has not yet moved off the back of this bad number for oil. So I think that after we have the press conference, then we might well see the bears come in for oil. And what else we got tomorrow? Nothing really tomorrow of any significance. Okay, we got some manufacturing PMIs, but aside from that, we don't really have a lot. Today's the big event. I think this is the event of the week, probably, the Lagarde speech. And at that point, does she say something which lifts the reins on what is probably the natural flow of the market here, which is probably to sell oil off. If oil sells off, the likelihood is the FTSE will go with it. And the S&P and the like may well go too. If we see the VIX pop up, so we want to watch all these different things. Then we might start to see the trends now go back to where they were going. So we're taking advantage of this as a retracement. This is now a decent price to go short. So it just depends on whether Christine Lagarde, as I say, releases the beast. And I want to be in a position that can happen. So that's why I'm going to stay quite loose until then. I'll either make something on my two accounts. I'll make nothing but break even on this account, or I'll make a heap on all of them. It's a possibility that there'll be a really kind price. The price action will be kind to my trades. We'll see what happens, but there's no guarantees. But at least we are either flat or we've made money, depending on which approach you've taken. With your flat or made money. But let's see what she says today and see if we can get just that extra little boost.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Thank you,
mate. Okay. Well, we are probably quiz time. We're a bit late on the quiz, but if you're all right with that, John, how are we doing, mates? Thank you, Lewis, by the way.
I'm good.
You're welcome. Anyway, John, I got to miss your quiz.
Wow, look at the background.
Yeah, I'm in the same studio. I'm just next door. I'm recording drums. Can't you hear me?
Brilliant stuff. Okay, mate.
I'm the only one who's back to front, by the way, but that's okay.
Nice one, John.
Yeah, looking good. Looking good. Okay, mate. Well, look, you're in the FTSE trade as well.
Yeah, I am. I got in at 6,988, and I've got a stop loss of 21 pips above that.
Okay, so you're going for the other sort of like way of doing it with leaving stops. Okay, mate. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. I haven't got as much on as you. I'm on 0.40, so it's not a lot. $8.
Yeah, mate. It's not about that. It's just whether we can get some money in the bank for the weekend. That's the key here. So we are going to push to the quiz then. Let's take our minds off these charts and have a look at a different type of screen and see what the questions are this week.
Okay. It's not a taxer this week, I don't think. First question, it's nice and easy, because it did take me quite a while to understand the difference between Forex and stock markets. But which stock market opens up the start of the week?
Oh, wow.
I got a bit confused with currency, Forex, and stock markets when I first started it. So I thought.
Also, I'll send that to you privately. Let me just make sure that's not private.
And.
Oh no, I can't seem to change away from private. You'll have to corroborate that I've given the correct or the wrong answer, John. Oh no, hold on. I can do this. There we go. No, I can't.
What have I done?
Ash is out of sorts. He's in the wrong room.
I'm in the wrong room. But my answer's the same as Gary's.
You should have been New Zealand.
Yeah.
Have
Well,
they actually got one? They do.
Apparently,
Okay.
yeah, apparently so. Apparently that's the building. I'll have to have a chat with a few mates of mine, get them off the rugby field, see if they can find it.
Yeah, I didn't think they did.
No, nor did I. I think it's quite small.
just a couple of farmers on there.
Yeah, it must be. It's cold in New
okay.
Zealand. That's why it's small. Yeah.
There's always lots of crypto news, but there's one bit of crypto news today which is really important.
That rules
Oh,
me
one
out.
bit today, is there?
Yeah,
Oh.
this quite. Yeah, well, maybe not. I think it is. I think it's quite exciting. However, what is the most
let me
exciting
guess.
development being announced today in the crypto space?
What is the most exciting development being announced?
Well, yeah.
We're not talking about grayscale,
This-
right? Because that's already
this
been
is-
announced.
This could be a little bit of a trick question.
Okay.
So you've got to be
okay.
careful. You've got to be careful with this one. I guarantee you've all got the information.
There you go. That's Gary. I think you're onto it, mate. But
Oh,
I'm not gonna
okay.
copy.
Oh, gosh,
You've
I
all
didn't
got
know
the
that.
information. You could be. Yeah, you've all got the information.
You'll have to fill me in on this. I seem to be in the dark. Why am I in the dark?
Ash, you're on the direct message.
Yeah, I can't seem to change it.
You should be able to do it now.
No, really?
Can you? I don't know whether you just.
No, I don't think I can. But it's okay, mate. It's not a problem.
Yes, we have tonight.
Very cool.
Log in.
Yeah, one day, Lewis. One day. It'll be an NFT, won't be cool.
Okay. So Richard and Big Jeff have been bouncing around on the edge of space. However, there is a rival that's making the big bucks, but he's not yet put himself in the hot seat. Can you name him?
Oh, well, I'm going to have a guess at this.
I'll have a guess too.
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose it had to be really.
Yes, Mr. Elon. Yeah, at least I quite like Sir Jeff's plane, but at least this guy's hooking up with the space station. So he's actually.
Do you know what the thing that I put in the chat box? Do you know what that is? Anybody?
A musk stick.
Yeah.
No, Jeff. I've got to be honest. I'm a musician, and I think I should know, but I don't.
Only if you ate them.
Oh, right.
They were a extruded piece of candy that was in the shape of a star, the elongated shape. They were about that long. For those of you who don't understand perspective, that's about 200 millimeters rather. And they were, okay. They were musk sticks back in the 60s, 70s, even into the 80s, maybe. They were, look them up. I might make you one day. Musk stick.
That's good.
I got another one right.
The Olympic Games
Well done,
started, as controversial as they are, but I love an upset.
Oh gosh,
Which successful team got a real upset? And to be fair, I do like it when this country loses.
Oh, I've got to say that then, John.
Yes, nice one.
I don't know what it is.
What Olympics?
But I can just imagine.
You could call it the ATM withdrawal machine going wrong in Tokyo instead of the Olympics because it's costing them a fortune.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is. You should have gone with the United States women's team. They've had a winning streak for 44 games.
Oh wow! They lost it. Who they lose to?
They lost to Sweden 3-0, but they brought a winning streak to the end, 44.
Sweden are good though, aren't they? I mean, they're a decent footballing.
They're a bit sneaky. They've got a few players in the ladies' team for Chelsea as well.
In Sweden and I think Sweden and Holland are particularly good female teams in football.
Oh, depending on Olympic 4, there are 4 options. Oh,
There
3-0.
are. Jared, yeah, there are. Luckily now,
Aussies won too. Matilda's won.
Yes, they did. I think it might be quite. I think it might be quite good. Not that everybody uses all 4, but when using the pending order on anything, there are 4 options. What are they? What are they?
Something educational. I like this, John.
I'm trying to set it out. Each, there's like a set question from each bit. Oh. And most people, I can remember learning about the orders on the trading camps that you guys have run. I've got it into my head now. To be fair, I've never used to sell. I've used to buy, limit, but most of the time I use buy.
Can you go back to the question, John?
Yes. Have I got the question right or wrong?
That'll do me.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, good to have a check.
Now, just as a point of interest, as most of you would know, I do not trade limit entry orders. I'd like to learn how, but I did say yesterday, I think in my preview, that if there was a limit entry order that I would like to take, it was on Aussie Kiwi short at 106.16, I think. I got to 106.13.7 and tanked.
Still learning, mate. Still refining.
Yeah, I thought it was a good level. I'll get there.
Actually, Gary's put close on there.
Ooh.
And I think in a way he should get a bonus point because that is a pending order.
It's not an MT4 though.
What, to close the trade?
My apologies. I should have actually clarified. So this is why you wanted the question. To open the order, I place the order. Maybe I got
I get it, mate. No, that wasn't what I was going to. I thought that there was a market order that you didn't list, but actually because market orders.
I owe Gary a pint of his choice then, but that's his bonus. Yeah. But if I ever see him, a pint of his choice.
Well, there's whispers of next year. There are whispers of us all getting together next year.
That'll be good.
Physically.
Yeah. Gold is always the metal's queen, and Bitcoin is always looking for a new home for its miners. But which country, mines, I should have put a mine there.
Oh.
Mines the most silver.
Oh, that's a great question.
Which country mines the most silver? To be fair, I was a bit of a geek this morning. I had to go and have a look. It did surprise me.
I think there's a possible four. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to go for this one.
Oh, no, I thought that. Oh, it's interesting.
You said the same as me, Gary. Could be. Don't know. Might be Australia.
Mexico.
I knew that.
None of my fault.
No, I think, yeah. But then I thought about it. I thought, yes, there was a reason why the Spanish went there. They obviously weren't going, for niceties. They were going for the gold, and they were also the silver.
Yeah. Do you know? I thought maybe Brazil or Canada, because there's quite a lot of gold in Canada. So I thought maybe they find it. Do you know there's gold in the sea, but it's just too difficult to kind of get out?
Now
they managed to get rid of all the fish. Why can't they get the silver?
Is it Indonesia? Is it Indonesia? I could be wrong, but I think there's an island in Indonesia which has got a nice sort of,
Oh no, I think there's just gold particles in the sea. I think I've got. My understanding is it's everywhere. So there's gold particles everywhere in the sea, but it's just too difficult to actually separate.
Do its thing. hopefully I'll get this right. In times of trouble, it's best to buy some wonga, some dinero, some cash for the rainy day. But which country tops the charts for the best, saving?
Won't be America. Won't be Australia.
Actually, no, it's not. Oh, look at that! Are you on the insider trading board of Ashley?
No, I mean it's just that would I would have had two guesses, but I'll tell you the reason I went for those guys in a minute.
Well, you must be right. So I can't read your answer.
Well, there's no cheating anyway.
Ben, it is apparently, yeah.
The Swiss, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
fair,
do you know why this makes sense? Is because they have to manipulate their currency in a kind of legal way, if you like. So they need enough in reserves to be able to kind of, even though they're not pegged to anything. The Switzerland being such a small, one of the smaller nations, they can't allow their currency to get too far out of whack with the United States, probably specifically. So they need plenty of currency in reserves to be able to make sure that they can pump and dump it effectively to control the price point of theirs.
I can't believe Australia is number 4. I can't believe Australia's in the top 100.
I thought China would be up there.
Yeah.
I can't believe the United States is up there.
All the pubs must have been closed when they counted that one, I reckon.
All the states. I mean, I would have gone with Jeff, because I do know that Japanese people, even though their economy is a bit messed up, and it's been like that for years, they do save money.
Mm.
That's what I thought, but they're not even in the top 10.
Yeah, all my Japanese friends, they save money. Bang. They drink like fish as well, but they do save money.
Interesting.
It's a calm one this week. Okay. Is the instrument you see in front of you walking? Oh, this will be interesting. Oh yeah. Is this a saxophone or a clarinet?
Man, you're in a bloody one of those little tab things.
Yeah, tell you what, John, with the with the studio, the way it's set up now, you're actually in the perfect environment.
It looks right, doesn't it?
It looks right in a minute. Yeah, I've got some. I can play something in a minute, and nobody can do it for copyright because it's mine. Okay,
I think I'd need to hear it, John.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Now we know.
Well, no.
Oh, wrong.
To be fair, everybody gets caught out.
Certainly sounds like a clarinet to me.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Okay.
It is indeed a saxophone. It's just shaped like it, and it's pretty close.
Yeah,
I'll believe you.
Have you ever heard?
The lower tones sound a bit sexy.
Yeah, it can be a bit honky.
John, have you ever heard Ben Folds 5? Heard of Ben Folds 5?
I haven't. I'll have to check it out.
Oh, have a look. Yeah, have a listen to a song called I think it's Last Night in Town or Stephen's Back in Town or something like that. Now there's a solo on that I can't tell whether it is a sax, which it might be that now. I always thought it was a clarinet, but yeah, have a listen and let me know whether it's that sax that's probably playing the solo.
It could be. This is the fun fact for all you people that like to make money. This saxophone is made in Taiwan, and it comes out in 4 different flavors. And the 4th flavor, the most expensive flavor, is called a P. Marriott, and it sounds French. But this one is not. It's exactly the same, and half the price.
Very cool.
Just to change the name. A low-key quiz today. No, not a brain tester.
Oh, that's all right, mate.
Well, tested my brain. As it
I've seen
always
a
does.
format where there's a question going on a different category each week rather than.
I like that. I like that. You're
No, all
starting to
good,
get a
mate.
bit of form.
Yep, perfect. All we've got to do is come up with a prize.
We do. Is that the last question, John?
I'm sorry. Yes, my
That was it.
Very quick. Very quick this week. There is
I can see two more slides there at the end. What are those guys?
Oh no, okay. Okay. I'll run you through the deal. This here is my backup question, just in case there's a what is it? Something off the top of my head. But next Tuesday is a pretty important day in my household too. So I'm sort of concentrating on that on the minute. To be fair, I didn't realise.
Is it someone's birthday?
No, me and my wife have been married for 25 years.
Oh, congratulations, mate! So
Yes,
it's a
mate.
big anniversary.
That's next Tuesday. So at the minute, yeah, I'm getting it right. Okay, we're in a lockdown. We've been in the lockdown since last March, really.
So her anniversary present is you're going to spend an hour with her on Trading Buddies, right?
She's going to come on. I'm going to get her to come on the show because
awesome.
She's the reason I got into crypto, and obviously on Tuesday it's crypto day.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah.
She did the diligent checking of getting that wallet set up properly and the transfer system. We use Luno, and she spent ages at it. And then she set me up, and I didn't pay a single bit of attention to writing down everything. And I got logged out of my Luno account for 2 months. But the good story about that was she sent money to it when Bitcoin was at 12,000.
She did. So you got some money in there.
She's in charge of sending the money from our currency accounts to the Bitcoin account. She's
nice, mate.
I don't get to deal with that.
Yeah.
But she sent it to an account that I set up and just didn't pay any attention to writing down my passwords.
Yeah.
But she sent it when it was at 12,000.
So does that mean you can't access it?
No one. Well, a couple of months later I could, but it had gone up, hadn't it?
Yeah.
It was that big shock. So that was quite nice to have.
Oh, mate, it's brilliant.
But it wasn't a lot, and it was still. It was still a nice ending to a stupid story of me not writing my password down. Which that's why I sympathised for Jeff when he was about to get his Gatling gun out and go for those.
Yeah.
Man, unbelievable.
Okay, well, I think we're okay to wrap it up. Thank you so much, John. Always a good addition to the week.
Good fun.
Oh, brilliant stuff, mate. The trades that we're in, Jeff, is there anything to update everybody on? I mean, I think I've updated sufficiently to kind of leave people do their thing with the trade.
Yeah, I think you're good. Look, sorry, John.
Oh no, I was just about to. Sorry, I shouldn't leap in. Ash, I'm at my stop loss is at 21. I'm 23 pips up. So is that an advice to move my stop to entry, take some profit? What do you think?
Well, I mean, this is the difficult thing, mate. I mean, for me to give you advice on this would be would be difficult now because I don't know exactly your mindset for it. The daily pivot is the time to do something. Okay. You know, I would definitely move your stops to entry. I wouldn't be sort of like I wouldn't leave those where they are. I don't think you need to have any risk on the table with this one. You know, if it comes up and stops you out, look for a possible entry after Lagarde has spoken. But this one really is one of those hyper low risk trades that we've managed to get into. So I would be moving stops to entry. You know, that's the way I've played it on my accounts. I move one of them to just taking all the money and closing it, and the other one I'm just going to let run. But I'm at break even, and it may make nothing, but it will not lose anything. So my philosophy is always defense first.
Thank you.
That'd be my play, mate. And then after that, if it hits the daily pivot, that's the time to consider taking something off the table. Or moving the stops even more to get some profit in the bank. But watch out for 1:30 UK time, because that's the press conference. Okay, mate. So Jeff, for you, what's anything to update us on?
Yeah, mate, a lot of half things that I'm looking at, but nothing that I can put a finger on and go, look, you've got to be here at this time and trade that. I think there's distinct possibilities that we'll get some daily pivot tests today on quite a few things. EuroCAD will either get a massive result out of that, similar to you in the FTSE, or it will probably break it depends on what she says, of course, but it will potentially give us even more than it's already given us already. We've had a pretty good week closing our trades. I don't need to jump into the market right now. It's a perhapser. So I'm not going to give you a heap of perhapses. It's very much a case of just watch this space. One thing I will give you, in my humble opinion, if you've got some untested daily pivots, I'm going to share with you the pound. If I can. I've lost the ability to do that. Where's my control panel gone? Gone missing. Don't you love it when that happens? No, I can't find it anywhere. Oh, here it is. It's on screen number 79. Okay, that way and that way. Look, I don't trade these things on a 1 hour chart, certainly, but I can see massive potential for this to give us a daily pivot test today. But probably then it's off to the races, because I think this looks extremely bullish today. What I would say is that it's at a fantastic resistance level. It's given us on the hourly chart a wonderful rejection bar off the daily resistance, number one. The one thing that's missing here is an entry for me. If that was a lower high off a double top or something like that, I would trade it, but it's not. It's sitting there in isolation. Yes, it's compelling because it's coming off DR1 and a former support and resistance area, and we've got an untested daily pivot. And I fully expect that will happen, but I'm not going to fall into that trap that early. I need to see something like a false break. So that's a no for me. I'll just, going back to that, Ash, the Aussie Kiwi that I was talking about yesterday, and we, the small, was it the small? I can't remember when it was, frankly. I said 106.16 was the level that we need to sell this at, and I wanted to put a limit entry order short, and that was the level right there. So you need to teach me how to do that. You really do.
Well, you did the same with oil, mate. So you would have been short.
Yeah, but I haven't got the kahunas to do it, because I'm not. It's just completely against my psyche, which says, okay, if the market's going that way, I can't, until it tells me it's going the other way, do it.
Yeah.
So I need to work out how to press that button and say, right, my analysis is spot on, and I just need to trust it. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because I never know whether it's worth changing a winning formula, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So
do we need to move into sort of like learning different things that I'm not sure how much extra more money that they will make us, and actually you are almost kind of like you because you're adapting the strategy. Does it then mean that you have to do other things differently alongside just the limit order? I don't know. My approach is to try and get what I believe is the best price on the pullback. So I'm quite happy just to get in, but it can get a bit hairy as well at times. So it's a tricky one, mate. I mean, if you want to do it, then we'll go through it, and then I'll show you the way that I approach it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. But yeah, as always, the system, you're dead right. The system that you're used to, yes, understand the level, but then wait for your setup.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always done. The problem is, at the moment, I'm not in front of the charts, and what I see on the dailies and the end of day scenarios plays out, but it plays out when I'm asleep or I'm not in front of the charts.
Yeah.
Because I spend 2 hours in front of the charts per day, one in the morning when I look at the setups for the end of day, and this hour. That's it, and I'm gone. So unless there's a setup there at that time, then that's why I'm looking at these limit entry orders.
Yeah,
because
I get it.
You can see the levels.
Yeah,
and you really want to trade them, but you're 100 miles away from the charts at that time. Anyway, that's a first world problem at this point in time.
It is, and you do have to consider your quality of life. I spend less time in front of the charts now than ever before, and life couldn't be better. So I don't want to be thinking about them sometimes. You know what I mean? It's kind of got to that stage. It's like, okay, just do that. That thing works. Just do that, and then get on with life.
Ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Well, I got 2 words for you. Piss off. Get out of here. That's 4 words.
Fantastic. All right, mate. Well, thanks for being my trading buddy. Thank you to John, as always, for Thursdays, and the guys in the room. Thank you to Angel for looking after us. We'll be back same trade time, same trade channel next week. I'm not here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Sorry, Matt. I should have told you that before everybody else. But I will be back on Thursday, I believe.
To say goodbye. And we'll talk
say
more
goodbye
about
for the month. Yeah. We're going to take our holidays, aren't we? Jeff and I are jetting off to Brazil for a week. For a month,
pig's ass we are.
Yeah.
You might be.
Well, we'll be back in September, but yeah, so I'll be back Thursday to say farewell and only for the month, and then we'll be back in September. So, but Lloyd is going to run the show for us, so Lloyd will be here. So, trading buddies will not stop.
Not at all. There's nothing in the chat box that we need to address. All good. Thank you, Paul P. Thank you, John. Thank you all. As Asher said, thank you for being our trading buddies, and have a wonderful weekend. We'll catch up with you next week. Angel, if you're struggling with that, I understand. Please come back to us. That'll all be good. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye-bye for now.